Everybody get your equipment out. Everybody get your guns out. Everybody get your bows and arrows out, because it is time to analyze how strong Hawkeye is. And of course, I got to give a special shout out to those that have donated to the channel. And this is actually perfect timing, because I had most of the script and stuff done a while ago, but then the trailer for the new Avengers game came out.
Surviving Avengers.
I'm totally hyped for. Hopefully they add in some hand-to-hand combat to him as well,
The key to saving our future.
because he's not just his bows and arrows, despite my popular belief.
Clint? Well, I guess that explains the shock arrow.
Without wasting any more time, let's get right into Clint. In Marvel Comics, he's had many different appearances, like this. Yeah, he was even a ninja that used a sword for a little bit. Yeah, Ronin. His origin is kind of unorthodox. He was a former circus worker turned criminal turned hero, stuff like that. Get an idea of him in his circus days. Yeah, he was actually a circus performer. Very good at what he did, though. Accuracy in every way. Dude might have some mutant DNA or something. How do you just have aim this good? You know what I mean? Just craziness, right? Don't judge me. Oh, by the way, he actually can't really hear that well, for those that are curious. One misconception is that he's all aiming and that's it. It's actually kind of weird, because he's not just all aiming. He actually has some ridiculous hand-to-hand combat. Like, yeah, it's deep into the lore as well. So good at it to the point where he was actually trained extensively by Captain America himself. Probably one of the best hand-to-hand fighters in Marvel. Yeah, extensively. Captain America be training like the Avengers and stuff, as you can see, like the different Avengers watching. It states here, "Hey, Hawkeye, this was some major skill you showed up in Japan. Where you learn how to fight like that?" Captain America. Ha, love it. To prove his skills even more, he repeatedly takes on hand ninjas. Keep in mind, one hand ninja is like very great fighters, and they're like taking on mobs of them along with other characters. But of course, this is when he was Ronin. Of course, he was Ronin for a little bit, Yeah, he's had multiple occasions of him taking on multiple people, melee style, not just using arrows. Yeah, you can see a lot of hand-to-hand when he was during his Ronin time. Just kind of proves that, yeah, he can do both when he needs to. Something I hope they incorporate in this new Avengers game. How about he mixes his punches, kicks, and combos with his arrows. Like he'll do punch, punch, kick, kick, arrow, arrow, kick, arrow, kick, arrow. That type of stuff. He mixes it in the middle of combat. Makes it even more flashier. Even does stuff without looking at time. This is the type of stuff I want to see exploited in the game. I'm not going to lie. I love me a long-range character in video games that can also get close and dirty. Think of the Batman games, but being able to shoot like arrows and shooting real good. Oh, that's Spider-Woman. Gotta love it. He was able to escape while even tied in a chair. Skills. When mind controlled, he nearly beat Mockingbird to death. This is when he's like not Ronin, and he's still showing hand-to-hand skills, like in a straight-up melee fight. I'm showing a lot of combat feats early. Don't judge me. But the fight drags on. Counter here, dodge here, block here, slam. Yeah, they had like an extended battle, as you can see. Yeah, it was getting crazier. You remember the Captain America Winter Soldier movie? Well, tell me why Clint Barton actually had a scene like that. We took on a whole bunch of people in the elevator. Gotta love it, right? He takes out hand Hydra and aim goons when he has an injured foot, and just showing that, yeah, he's definitely not normal when it comes to skills. Like he's above average in skills, even though he can specialize in marksmanship. He fights off a group of trained shield people, even though he eventually loses though, because they're all trained. But hey, this is impressive though. Look, like check this out. Like literally takes a mob of them. Yeah, he put in some work though. Yeah, gotta love it though. Yeah, they got him down though. Like a lot of characters in Marvel, even though I don't think he has any superpowers, if I'm not mistaken, he somehow displays superhuman levels of strength. Don't ask me, they just do. At this point, it's not even a shock to me that he has superhuman strength. It's almost like they just need to get rid of the term peak human at this point. Like, none of these characters are really peak human. They're above peak human. Like, you know what I mean? I think we all can agree that Captain America is superhuman. There was nothing too flashy, but he was able to kind of hold Captain America back here. Okay, Wreckers, they're supposedly supposed to be some class 50 plus beings. And he was like kind of able to stagger one. Nothing super flashy. He didn't really do much to him, but it's just the fact he's able to make him flinch or, move him with his attacks during Ronin. This really showed off his skills when he was Ronin. Very versatile. Smashes up some metal with his bow. He can hit hard like that. He was able to kind of do this to a car with leverage. How? Slam somebody against the wall hard enough to crack the wall. His striking power is hard enough to do this to a door with a kick. He's literally strong enough to knock out two people with a kick. Like, knock them both out. Nobody's really sat down and thought about how much power it takes to knock out a human being. So they've actually been mathematically calculated. You're probably like, what, Ivan? What are you talking about?
One style nails the science of the knockout punch. Good old-fashioned boxing. Almost 1,000 pounds of impact, equal to a sledgehammer to the face.
Yeah, you heard that right. Remember these numbers when you ever see these fictional characters knock out these normal humans with like one hit, or fighting a group of people and knocking them all out in single kicks and stuff. Like they're casually putting out 900 plus or 1,000 pounds of force with their attacks. This is casual work. Who's to say they're holding back? You know, these characters don't even like to kill. Hawkeye's one of them. You know, when he's with the Avengers and stuff. You know what I mean? Batman and them, Captain America and them, when they're knocking out these people, they're holding back and they're knocking these people out. That's some perspective for you. Let's continue. And yeah, Hawkeye was able to do this. Just giving you perspective. To further prove his strength, not anybody can just wield his bow and arrow. It actually takes a certain amount of force to pull the bow back. For example, there was this large muscular man that's bigger than him that couldn't even do it, but somehow Hawkeye can, showing he's definitely not normal human strength. Not to mention he can like toss people several feet. When it comes to battle feats, he's fought like all the major fighters. This is more impressive than you think, considering Black Widow's actually a super soldier in the comics. He actually knocked out Black Widow. This occasion with a nunchuck. Yeah, he can use nunchucks. This dude even bended a flagpole into a bow. Like, this dude really, Hawkeye, like really though, you bended a flagpole to make it a bow and arrow? Before I get into his actual skills with the darn bows and arrows and all that stuff, which is probably going to be a shower of that, let's get into the standard gear he has, which is his bows and arrows, his different type of arrows, his trick arrows, all that good stuff. Talking about standard gear, this dude has almost every element at his disposal. It's almost like having superpowers when you had this. It's almost like, how do you have all these elements with you at all time, right? Let's get it. Tell me why he has conventional arrows. His conventional arrows can even hurt characters like Reed Richards, who's made of freaking rubber. Just normal arrows from Hawkeye. First of all, his arrows are extra durable. Like, what arrow do you know they can just jam into a building and break his fall, and it like break apart the building while he's falling? Like, what? This can be explained. They didn't say what kind of arrow he was using here, but it will make sense if it was like an adamantium arrow. He was able to pierce Phoenix Force Cyclops' neck with his arrow. Yeah, he has like overpowered arrows. He has arrows that can literally blast through 3 metal robots. Like, that much power. Let's not talk about his raw power when it comes to his arrows. He can freaking level a city with an arrow if you want to. He has explosive arrows that are 30 in the 30 megatons of raw power. This is one of those things like, okay, this is standard equipment. He's a city buster. Like, seriously. His explosive arrows are even so strong, they're even able to blow an Iron Man suit to smithereens with this type of power. It's funny how everybody talks about Black Panther and a lot of other characters like Deathstroke's standard gear. What about Hawkeye's standard gear? These type of arrows are ridiculously powerful. They're strong enough to blow holes in the plane, and this occasion he fought Black Widow. Yeah, this is impressive if he can fight her anyway. He even has a C4 arrow. Nothing too crazy, nor am I trying to scale him to, you know, Phoenix Force Emma. He was able to blow her back though with his arrow, which is cool. His arrows are so strong, even a Hulk can feel it. Not saying he did no major damage to him. It's like no amped Hulk. But it's just the fact that they even noticed it. It's like ridiculous. Evidently, explosive arrows in Hulk's mouth kind of sting, one could say. This dude can literally take down 3 helicopters with one bow and arrow. There's the time his arrow was even so strong, it was even able to kind of one-shot a super Skrull. Like these Skrull, like the Skrull invasions. Like, you know how to be fighting the Skrulls and stuff. This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his versatility. Let's talk about his other type of versatility, like putty arrows. This dude is really starting to remind me of Deathstroke when it comes to just having a walking armory of stuff. Just so much versatility with these different type of arrows, trick arrows. This mixed with his great strength and stuff like that is really deadly. Great aim as well, being able to hit people in the eyes with it to further make it even hard to fight this guy. They really come in handy as well, because when he mixes the putty arrow with a net arrow, they actually lessen the effects of an explosion. So that's very handy. Talk about a walking armory of versatility. Tell me why he even has a taser arrow. No surprise there. Let's not talk about the fact he's actually fought Captain America in an actual raw battle of just straight up fighting, able to temporarily take out Cap in this occasion with a taser arrow. He can even do fun stuff like wipe out a swarm of insects. Nothing flashy though, I'm just messing with you. It's crazy that even simple arrows like grapple arrows have cables that are hard enough to cut stuff like a car roof. Like, just simple arrows like a cable can do this type of destructive power. The wires of his arrows are even strong enough to stop a van. Like, so yeah, he has some pretty decently strong equipment. He uses it as a maneuverability tactic as well when he wants to get the drop of a villain, kind of like his version of web slinging. He even has arrows like this, like the bowler arrow. Like, it's like kind of like the same as the rope arrow. Ties up guns, like ties up this AK like in this situation. His aim and accuracy mixed with this type of stuff, using it to trip his foes up along with his net arrows and stuff like that. Cool stuff like that. And of course, he even has acid arrows that can melt through stuff. Very lethal. Which can even melt through glass. It was even able to melt through this beam. He can fight people that are kind of out of his tier thanks to his standard equipment and gear. But once he runs out of gear, that's probably the main weakness he has. He has sonic arrows that can blow your eardrums into smithereens and even shatter windows. These sonic arrows are even as much as a nuisance to the point where they even cause powerhouse beings like Graviton discomfort. Graviton, like another version of Magneto in Marvel, just in case you don't know who that is. It even annoys characters like Radioactive Man. Disrupts Songbird's power, a being that has a similar power to like Sonic's. And did you know Hawkeye can basically fly? Because he has a rocket arrow he can use to kind of make him fly. Awesome. I briefly showed this earlier along with other stuff, but yeah, he has a net arrow, of course. I showed this when I showed the putty arrow thingy. He even used it against a character like Kraven the Hunter, bows and arrow. This comes in handy when you want to take out a mob of people really fast. Like he does this to like a whole bunch of people and captures them like this, and they can't get out. When it comes to versatility, it's only right to have versatile arrows like cryo arrows, ice arrows. All right, Mr. Freeze. He was able to do this to a version of Thor with his cryo arrows temporarily. Alternate reality, Brother Voodoo. Alternate reality, guys. Alternate reality. Not the mechanic one. Ice arrow on deck, baby. Gotta love the versatility. Ice. He was able to do this to a speeding car as well. Like it like sticks. Suction tip. He has flashbang arrows. There was one time he used it against a character like Havoc. This dude even used it against Red Onslaught with her flashbang. Yet another occasion of him using a flashbang arrow. If he wants to just be boring, he can like snipe somebody with a blunt arrow. Like it can make an indenture in their head. Like if you don't want to kill him, just boom, it's like knockout. What if I told you he has gas arrows? And what if I told you they can actually stay knocked out for hours from the gas arrows? Yeah, very handy. With help of a lot of people, Hawkeye didn't do this by himself. It was help from other characters. It was actually a helping aid in turning Hulk back into Banner. Wow, gas arrows. Yeah, but he had massive amounts of help from these other characters to do this though. C, and C. But I wouldn't scale him to Hulk though. Don't get the wrong idea. Yeah, it's just still cool to see that he has arrows, this beast. Stink arrows, really, Hawkeye? I don't even know how this works, but he has evidently electro scrambler arrows. It states here, an electro disruption arrows. Being friends with the Avengers, of course, he has arrows developed by Stark himself. Gotta love it. He even has electromagnetic pulse arrows, EMPs. You know, things they use to take out robots and stuff, or it's something to use to take out the power of any sort, even stuff that's not connected to power sources like your watch. Electromagnetic pulse can do that type of stuff. So like if he shoots an electromagnetic pulse at your like phone, even though it's not connected to nothing, connected to the wall, your phone will instantly die. Electromagnetic pulse like that. He was even able to use an arrow to do this to a character like Deathlock, shutting him down in the process. Thanks to being friends with characters like Hank Pym, aka Yellow Jacket, aka Giant Man, aka Ant-Man, he got cool Pym particle arrows. Awesome, right? He's actually used it to shrink characters before, like in this occasion. He can even use it to grow multiple arrows. As you can see, like that. He even has a Goliath arrow to where, did Clint just get big? You know what? I'm done. He has incendiary arrows, aka fire arrows. Of course, you can't have an ice arrow and not have a fire one. He even lights up a fuel pad. I'm just about to speed blitz through a whole bunch of miscellaneous arrows that I didn't mention just now. Arrows that might come up one-off, or arrows that might be specific for the story, or he might not use as much, but he has them sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't. Funny stuff. Like a boomerang arrow, like it boing. Like he seriously can't have all these arrows all the time. He even has a cushion arrow to save Captain America and him from a fall. He evidently has sunburst arrows that are perfect for fighting vampires. He has sunburst arrows for fighting vampires. Like, really, though. He has tracker arrows to track people, of course. Duh. Flare arrows, so if it's dark and you can't see, he has those just in case. Like, did he think of everything with this? Seriously, Hawkeye, did you think of every situation that you could possibly be in? He has foam arrows to take out flames. He even has a techie arrow that can create loops in security footage. How though? What kind of arrows is that? What, he got a hack arrow? He has arrows that can counter characters like Moonstone. It states here, that would disrupt. He's like, he had an arrow for all of us. That would disrupt Moonstone's gravimetric field long enough to deliver the phase scrambler. And this explains how he's able to hurt Phoenix Force users with his arrows. He has evident arrows that can ignore durability. I talk about this all the time, like Wolverine and Black Panther. They have weapons that allow them to harm people that are way out of their tier. Same with Hawkeye. He has arrows made of vibranium. So in theory, he can definitely hurt people way out of his tier with this. He has silver arrows, of course, magnetic arrows, firework arrows, ink arrows to write stuff. This guy has adamantium and vibranium arrows. Are you kidding me? Both of those most deadly metals on the earth. razor arrows, photonic particles, arrows, hook arrows. He has polymer foam arrows that disrupts Captain America's energy shield. There was a time he was like holding an energy shield instead of, the actual real shield. It even states here, polymer foam disrupts the reference beam in your hollow shield. Because water is awesome, he even has a water arrow. One can say Texas Chainsaw Massacre saw blades. Like, it says here, you got monsters, I got loads of arrowheads. This is my Texas Chainsaw. Are you kidding me, man? Grounding arrow. Man, what can this dude not do again? He has like all the arrows you could ever possibly need. If all of that stuff wasn't enough for you, how about the fact he has other equipment that you might see from time to time? Like, he has a way of like just blending into the environment, like disguising. He has a mini crossbow that can extend if needed be. Always prepared for the worst, right? You know how Dragon Ball Z, the Capsule Corp, like he can like kind of store his motorcycle with him and then like release it if he wants to. Like, it's just awesome stuff. He even has stuff to protect him against telepaths, like the time where he has like a psionic gear to protect him against Psylocke, a powerful mutant. This was during the Avengers vs. X-Men event, and she is Bae. If you think he doesn't have a weapon just because you took away his arrow, he even has a wrist version of it if he has to. Sometimes he even carries a sword for melee options, because of the Ronin stuff. He can use swords and yeah. You can't have all this stuff and not have a bulletproof vest, right? Yeah, he has a bulletproof vest, just in case you was curious. Just like a lot of other characters in Marvel, for some reason, he has absurd reaction speed. Like, literally. Like dodging War Machine's bullets here. Like evading gunmen on this occasion. Oh, it's not just aim dodging, guys. These characters in Marvel do this stuff consistently. And he fights characters like Cap and gets trained by Cap, so he has to have speed to keep up with those type of characters, right? There's been plenty of occasions of him avoiding shot from handguns and taking them out in the process before they can react. I mean, think about it. He's using a bow and arrow and they're using guns and he's still able to hit them before they can hit him. Like, dude, he has a major disadvantage. They're using guns and he's not. There's even some lore about his speed. Even mutant. Angel believes that Hawkeye might be too quick for Psylocke, a mutant. That's definitely lore for you. He can dodge stuff just too great, y'all. It's stated, quote unquote, that he can fire an arrow in a split second, like that quick. He's dodging gunfire from multiple areas and while he's doing backflips in the process. Agility, speeding, etc. Just crazy combat speed. When it comes to Marvel Street characters, this might be one of the most impressive things they can do. Like, they literally dodge bullets on a daily. You would think eventually one would hit them. No, they're just fast guys. It's not just, oh, they're getting lucky or got plot. No, they're just made to be fast. They're written to be fast. They're written to be out of the ordinary. How do you beat people with guns if you got a bow and arrow? That lets you know he's superhumanly quick and fast and strong. He even dodges gunfire from a crossfire. Like, again, getting an advantage over people that have guns and he doesn't. This is what I'm talking about, the razor blades I showed earlier. He's even able to dodge gunfire from a minigun. Like, come on, man. It's just too much lore. Okay, so check this out. Remember this? I showed this earlier when he was fighting the Hulk. Okay, Bruce Banner right here, right, was about to get shot. Okay, Hawkeye has his arrow. He's aiming at Bruce Banner. Like that. This dude is aiming at Bruce Banner. Hawkeye shoots his arrow fast enough to move Bruce Banner out the way before he gets shot. Not that would have killed him anyway, but yeah, he just did that. Yeah, awesomeness. Still a little skeptical about his speed being superhuman? Well, let me show you a little bit more of his marksman skills for you then. All right. 5 shots, 5 KOs. Takes out the wheels of a truck a good distance away. This is another implication of his lore and his speed, because you got to have some quick thinking with great geometry skills to have this type of aim. Just greatness and all. Shoots an arrow, ricochets off the wall to hit somebody behind him. I showed this earlier, but he's got an actual fight with Black Widow, a super soldier in his verse. One of the best fighters in Marvel, by the way. This dude, Hawkeye, this is how Hawkeye took down 17 hired guns without killing a single one of them while avoiding a monster and still totally following the plan, wondering why the Fury wasn't following the plan, then realizing that those things crawling out of the gate looked like they might be the things that Fury had babies with. This is how he did it. Panel 1, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Another implication of his speed and lore. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, but he ain't superhuman in speed, reflexes, and etc. He definitely, you don't have to have superpowers to be superhuman in comics. That's just how it is. He even took out a monster before without looking. He actually got in a long distance fight with Black Widow, a great marksman in her own right. And she's actually an enhanced character for you those that don't know. I actually have a video about Black Widow as well for more lore on that. As you can see, they have like a little marksman battle. This is probably one of the cool occasions here. Yeah, this is a cool little cinematic. Stuff like this, I would totally love to see animated. Just tons of acrobatic archery, training, and stuff like that. He's not normal. While all this mumbo jumbo is going on, this seems cluttered, right? Somehow Clint is make a difficult shot in all this madness. Like how though? It's just too much stuff going on. He schools these other people in a training session, just showing his actual skills. He was able to curve 3 hours and take out people behind him. How does that work? He curved it. You know what? I'm done. This is straight up insanity. He fought a load of archers. This has to be at least 50. Like a load of archers. Like this. But he ain't, you think he's normal now? This ain't normal, dude. He's by himself. And he's doing all of this by himself. It's like horde mode. He eventually collapses. But guys, look how many people. Dude, more proof that he's even superhuman when it comes to speed and etc. Or if he was that slow in comparison to characters like Captain America, he's even already stated he can dodge bullets and see bullets mid-flight. Captain America can see bullets mid-flight. Well, Hawkeye's pretty implied to be massively hypersonic when it comes to his combat speed, if I would say, based on Captain America stuff he's done. He actually has sparring sessions with Captain America. They're having a conversation while they're talking. It's letting you know that this is something they always do. Yet another sparring session with Captain America, showing it's consistent. Dun dun dun. What if I told you this fight I showed you with the taser, he actually kind of got the W, kind of, sort of. More proof of his skills and stuff. He was able to outsmart an invisible opponent. In a pitch black room, he uses solely his hearing to take out some people. Yeah, just to let you know that while he was blind, he was actually able to beat up on some fools. Talking about he's normal. Yeah, right. Normal. Ain't no way in the world somebody can pull this off while they're freaking blinded. More proof of his speed, combat speed, reaction speed, fighting speed, and stuff like that. His speed should be compared to a character like Black Panther and stuff like that. But even if you don't believe me, I bring this up in almost every video, but tell me why Black Panther and Hawkeye was able to dodge something thrown by Hulk. They did it in a microsecond. 1 microsecond is 1/1,000,000th of a second. So basically, what am I saying? I'm saying that if a character like Dash was to try to blitz Clint or Hawkeye, like just blitz him and punch him, Hawkeye would actually be able to react to him. It's pretty insane, right? To think of somebody being able to, that's not a speedster to be a react to, like a speedster from The Incredibles, right? I like using him as an example, as the benchmark. He's that fast. These type of characters are that fast. Not to mention that Hawkeye has gotten battles with Captain America, meaning, and you know, he's got comparable speed to Black Panther as well, who did the same feat in a microsecond. So these guys are all comparable to each other in speed, so it's consistent. Let's not even talk about characters like Daredevil speed feats. He's somebody who's also dodged something in a microsecond, 1/1,000,000th of a second. Definitely consistent with other characters. It's not just a one-time thing. Daredevil has feats like this, microsecond level reaction time. Captain America has literally explained how he can dodge bullets, and Clint was able to dodge something that Black Panther was able to dodge. And they did this in a microsecond. The narration stated this. Right? Intent all over the place. But guys, that's just about going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. When it comes to like him being a dangerous threat, he's definitely a dangerous threat. He can fight people out of his tier. First of all, he has nuclear type arrows that can like blast away a city if he had to. Secondly, he has adamantium and vibranium stuff that can hurt powerhouse like Hulk and Thor or even Thanos if he had to. He has stuff like that. He has pimp stuff to where he can make himself big, to where he could be like a building size threat and then shoot arrows while he's building size. Like, he has that type of gear, and then he has arrows that are PIM that he could just make them huge if he had to. Like, he could be like, okay, I'm gonna shoot a PIM arrow, then he can make the arrow as big as a doggone jet or something crazy like that. Like, he has that type of stuff. Not to mention he can casually knock out humans, and I already showed you the science behind that, how he can, that's 1,000 pounds of force casually. Can you imagine people to just strike with casual 1,000 pounds of force, just being like that, and just be able to dodge bullets from every occasion. The fact that he can outgun people and they have guns and he uses a bow and arrow, not to mention he's physically smaller than a person that couldn't even draw his bow, and he can draw that same bow, proving that he's definitely superhuman. But I hope you guys enjoyed this feat run. Did you guys know Clint Barton was this strong? Hawkeye was this strong? You probably thought he was just somebody that can shoot arrows and that's it. Not to mention he has training and stuff like that. Great fighter, swordsmanship, Ronin status. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully they incorporate some nice combos in the new Avengers game with him, and he doesn't just have straight up bows and arrow stuff. I doubt they're going to do that. That game really seems very layered, and I was really surprised about how the detail and stuff looked, and especially the new reveals. But hopefully you guys enjoy this. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. Check out those playlists. You will not regret it. And please be on the lookout if you're new to my channel for gameplay for the new Avengers game or content from that game in general. That game is going to be all over my page when that game releases. You know, I'm just letting you guys know I love video games. I'm a gamer as well. That Avengers game is about to be all over this channel. Tips, tricks, how I play with my character builds, that type of stuff. So just make sure you stay tuned for that. Check the description, playlist, all that good stuff. I want to see you guys back again. I'll see you guys later.